I want to make every single woman financially confident, financially stable, because the world becomes a better place when women have more money.
Have you ever wondered how to make $1 million with social media?
We started this business with $40 and I've never paid for ads.
Meet Tori Dunlap. She's a money and career expert, a best-selling author, and a podcast host that saved $100,000 by the age of 25 to then build her first company, which is called her first 100K, which fights inequality by providing women with resources to do the exact same and build $100,000 businesses and beyond.
When you have money, you have choices, you have options, you have the ability to leave toxic situations you don't want to be in anymore. You can donate to causes you believe in, start businesses, have children, not have children, get married, not get married. Every option opens up to you. And so
Today she has a 7-figure business.
2022 was 4.3. Last year we took a bit of a hit to do 4.1. And this year we're on track to do anywhere from like 5 to 6.
Welcome Tori Dunlap to the show. Tori, at the age of 25, saved $100,000 and then quit her corporate job and founded her company, her first 100K, to give women actionable resources to better their money. She also published a New York Times bestseller called The Financial Feminist. She's the host of the #1 business podcast, The Financial Feminist, and she became Forbes 30 Under 30. So overall, Tori has helped over 4 million women by now to negotiate salary, pay off debt, and build savings and invest, and so much more. Tori, thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Let's kick this off with, what's your mission on this planet?
My mission on this planet is to fight the patriarchy by making women rich. I want to make every single woman financially confident, financially stable, because the world becomes a better place when women have more money.
That's very clear, very clear. What inflection point made you start your business then, actually?
Donald Trump getting elected. 2016, the election happened not soon after I graduated college. I graduated college in May of 2016. The election of Donald Trump happened not soon after that in the United States. And I was 22, and it kind of radicalized me to figure out what kind of person I wanted to be and what I stood for. And I realized that I don't think we have any sort of equality for any marginalized group until we have financial equality. And so now I work every day to teach women about, like you said, how to save money, how to pay off debt, how to start investing, how to feel financially confident. Because when you have money, you have choices, you have options, you have the ability to leave toxic situations you don't want to be in anymore, put yourself in situations that, allow you to become the fullest version of yourself. You can donate to causes you believe in, start businesses, have children, not have children, get married, not get married. Every option opens up to you. And so that's what I believe I was put on this earth to do, is fight for women's financial rights.
Yeah, you give them all the options, just so much more than just the financial rights. But I love that. What did you do before then in your previous life, before Donald Trump was elected?
Yeah, so I graduated college in 2016. I was 22 years old, and then I started my career in social media marketing. So I went to college for communication. So I have 2 degrees, one in communication and one in theater, which actually shocks a lot of people until you know what I do, and then it makes a lot of sense. But I was, a social media marketer in my 9 to 5, and then slowly growing the business on the side. So her first 100K was a side hustle for the first couple years of its inception until late 2019 when I took it full time.
I love it. Good segue to talk about today's offer. So if I were a typical client of yours, which I'm likely not because I'm male, but if I were, what's your core offer? Like, what am I buying?
Yeah. So I'm first of all, financial feminist can be of any gender identity. It's just predominantly women. So we'd have a lot of folks who do not identify as women who are part of our community. So you're welcome. We have everything under the sun. We have a lot of free and really accessible options. We've done that on purpose. We have my book, obviously, that's available wherever books are sold. We have our podcast that's free. We monetize both of those in different ways that are, lower cost or free for the consumer. We also have more advanced paid products. Things like our stock market school is our signature program, where we have actually built the technology to not only teach you how to invest step by step, kind of like a course or, a community or curriculum, but we've also built the actual technology for you to be able to invest. So we have over $70 million invested in that platform, and the majority of that money is by people who have never invested before. So yeah, it kind of runs the gamut between stuff that is very accessible and free, and then our stock market school is just under $300 a year.
Okay. Got it. So like book, podcast, course, tech tools, and then what you said about 70 million, is that like assets under management that you can invest, or this is investors investing into the company?
Nope.
In order to build?
So the stock market school is an actual investing platform. So we teach people how to invest in the stock market, and then they actually go invest their own money. So we have $70 million in assets under management with that platform. And about 80% of people who have invested through our platform have never invested before. So we're teaching women not only how to invest, but they're actually investing through the platform. They're opening a brokerage account, they're contributing their own money, and they're getting started investing.
Okay, and that is $300 a year, or there's
Mhm.
like a fee for?
Nope.
Okay, got it.
There's no additional fee. We don't charge a management fee. We don't charge a service charge. We don't charge a trading fee. It's just, yeah, $297 a year for that subscription.
Very clear. Um, if you were to interview some clients of yours, what specific value in your offering would they rave most about?
Mm. We literally get messages every single day, probably every 5 minutes from women somewhere. We're now a community of 5 million. We have 2.4 million followers on TikTok. We have over 2 million on Instagram. And then we have our podcast, which continually ranks as the number one money podcast for women. And so we get messages all over from women telling me, I've saved my first $1,000. I can retire comfortably. I left a abusive relationship because I have enough money to survive. I think the thing that really makes us stand out is that we are non-judgmental. We don't shame people for their money choices. It's very empathetic. It's very inclusive. It's focused on both that inclusivity as well as accessibility, taking something that is very confusing and jargon heavy and simplifying it without any of the shame and judgment you might experience from other financial experts. I think the feminist lens is really important as well. We can't talk about money or personal finance without also talking about the systemic barriers that exist that prevent people from getting money. And I think that's one of the reasons that people love our content is they're never going to feel ashamed that they didn't know this sooner, that they may have made a mistake. And they're also going to understand that money is not just about your personal choices, but about everything circumstantial in addition.
Very clear. Let me double click real quick on the price points again. So it's 300 a year. Is there like any, let's say, value ladder? Like where does it start on the low end? Where does it end on the high end? Or it's like one price point, that's
It's
it?
one price. Yep, it's one price point. If that's something that you can't afford right now, we have an investing chapter in my book. We have investing content on the podcast and elsewhere. We also do the majority of our business is through partnerships because we want to maintain accessibility for our prices. So we have affiliate partners. We have we do influencer partnerships. I speak all over the world. So a lot of our revenue comes from outside sources, not just products.
Clear. We'll come to that in a second. Real quick, like what tools do you use to deliver the values? Like, is this your custom built platform or any other tool that you use to deliver the value to your customers?
Yeah, I mean, we've got many, many tools. Obviously, social media is huge for us. So, we do a lot of our business on Instagram. Chat funnels on Instagram have been absolutely a game changer in the past year for us. Many chat, exactly. So, we have gotten just from, Instagram DMs alone, we've gotten over 200,000 email subscribers in the past year. So getting people off of those platforms and, onto our more of our landscape that we own. TikTok, especially in the early days, was absolutely transformative for us. This time in 2021, so a couple years ago, April 2021, we had a video go viral. And in 7 days, we received over 100,000 email subscribers from one video. That was
Wow.
completely organic. It was 7 days, 100,000 email subscribers that we're still marketing to this day. So yeah, ManyChat's been really important for us. Treasury, which is the platform I co-created to build Stock Market School on, which is that investing education platform. Um, I mean, yeah, classic business tools, e-commerce tools like WooCommerce. But yeah, I think the thing I'm really proud of about the way I've built the business is that we have never taken outside capital. I've never taken a loan. I've never raised money. We started this
Nice.
business with $40 and I've never paid for ads. I've never purchased, other than I think I tested it for a weekend on Facebook for like $20. We do not do paid social ads. This is all organic. This is a 4 to 5 million plus dollar business every single year, done completely organically. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
It's really, really good. Really good. When did you launch the business as is in the current offer stack?
Yeah, so 2016, I started it as a blog on the side of my 9 to 5. I would say 2020 was our first like full year of business because I quit my job in 2019 to run the business full time. So, we slowly started building the offerings from there. I was, yeah, 2020 was our first year of me as a full-time entrepreneur. And then it's just been growing since then. 2020, summer of 2020 was also the first time we started posting on TikTok, and that was just stratospheric for our business. And then we launched our podcast in spring of 2021. So yeah, we've slowly started, diversifying our revenue, connecting with our community in different ways since then.
If you think the creator economy is really interesting, then I got something for you. On milliondollarcreators.club, we actually created a database of all the creators out there, and you see not just their fans, followers, subscribers, but actually how much money are they making. So with that, we bring now transparency into the creator economy, and you really see how are the best of the best get their customers, price their offers, create their offer stack, get customers, which tools are they using, how will they grow and triple their business going forward. So if that's interesting for you, including lists of who makes the most revenue, who has the fastest revenue growth, who has the biggest audience, who has the fastest growing audience, who makes the most revenue per follower, and who has the most exciting offer stack from low end all the way to the high end, then go to milliondollarcreators.club and enjoy the data. Clear. Typical month, like how many, so it's not a success section, how many paying customers do you have?
It depends. We have a lot of like digital downloads that are like lower cost, anywhere from like a $30 like budgeting template to, I think our job interview package, which is like 60 pages of content, is about $80. And then we have our stock market school community. So it's typically a couple thousand, but it just depends on the month, depends on, if we've done any certain sales or promotions, and then what we're really pushing for that month. I'm literally leading a how to grow your Instagram workshop in a week. And so we're really pushing for that right now. So it just depends on the month.
Clear. And then maybe double clicking on what you just said on growth, like to understand growth better, if let's say now it's 4 to 5 million business 12 months ago, how was that? How did it grow from 2020 to today?
Yeah, so 2020 we did about 300,000 in revenue. 2021 was, I believe, 3.4. 2022 was 4.3. Last year we took a bit of a hit to do 4.1, and this year we're on track to do anywhere from like 5 to 6. So yeah, it's the growth is really, you can see our social growth, and it's basically, it's par for the course with that. Every time we've grown on social media, we've seen a substantial increase in our revenue. In August of last year, we had about 650,000 followers on Instagram. And in 30 days, we doubled that to 1.2 by the time September rolled around. And then we're now at 2 million and about to hit 2.1. So we're seeing really, really rapid growth on social. And again, this is all organic growth. And from, social media, we're able to better promote both our products as well as, affiliate partners, influencer partners. So yeah, the business has grown as our social audience has grown, as the podcast has continued to chart. So yeah, all of it is very symbiotic.
How much of that is recurring, actually? I mean, you have this membership fee, right, which is a year, so that's recurring. But do you also have, let's say, the $30 products, which are likely one time? So how much of that is recurring?
Yeah, our subscription is the only thing that's recurring right now, but we have a community that really trusts us and comes back often. And again, there's ways to make money that we really highlight that don't require a user to open up their checkbook or, open up their wallet. A lot of our partners, right, are a lot of actually our biggest revenue drivers. So we've chosen to kind of go where the money is in case of, big financial companies with, $100 million marketing budgets, as opposed to asking someone who might be lower income or trying to figure out how to navigate personal finance, rather than asking them to pay us $3,000.
Yep. Let's talk about, I mean, it's really interesting about OPEX, right? Operating expenditures. How big is the team today?
Yep. So we're about 15 people. About half of those are full time, like W-2, and the rest are contractors.
15 or 1.5 or
1.5.
5.0?
1.5, 15. Yep. And the majority of that team is marketing, which makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, operating costs, again, depends on the season, depends on the year. Last year, we had less profit because we were investing more in people and growing the business. And so, we tend to do, I mean, I remember in the early days, probably 2020, 2021, we were doing 85% profit, which was kind of insane. And it's not that cushy anymore. I would say before we pay taxes, it's probably 65% in terms of profit.
Amazing. Holy crap, you built a machine. It's amazing. Really, really good. Let's talk about lead gen customer acquisition. So how do you get eyeballs awareness today? You said affiliates earlier or referrals. You're not doing ads. Like, how does it work?
When I say affiliates, I'm talking like I am an affiliate for a company. So I'm making money off of, promoting something like a bank account. No, I mean, it's in terms of customer acquisition, it's all social media. It's almost all social media or podcast or book. And it depends on, somebody discovers us through the podcast. They're probably going to read our book and follow us on Instagram. Somebody follows us on Instagram. They're probably going to listen to the podcast and buy the book. So again, all of it's pretty symbiotic. If you come through one funnel, you're going to find the other things in our funnel too.
Yeah, that's my next question actually. What's the typical funnel from awareness to purchase? Like, what's the typical thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually like Instagram. Instagram's our most consistent platform, and so getting them through, a DM funnel in using something like ManyChat has been really effective for us. And I think a lot of people can see what that is or maybe know what it is, and if they are listening to this. But if you don't, if you comment a trigger word right under on one of our posts, so you might comment HYSA 100 for our high yield savings account, and then the whole conversion happens in the Instagram DMs. We also acquire your email from that, and so we have the ability to follow up with you if you didn't convert, if you have more questions. So yeah, a good chunk of that funnel process is happening just now on Instagram directly, but we're receiving their email right off the jet or right off the bat as well in order to continue to market to them.
Clear. Um, your audience growth has also been spectacular, like 2 million on Instagram, 2.4 on TikTok, like email list 600K is like really, really strong. What has been your secret to grow and convert your audience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally teaching it in our Instagram workshop next week, so I'll give you a link if you want to distribute that. I'm literally like unveiling all of our strategies that we use. Couple things. One, trying to be everything to everybody makes you nothing to nobody. You need to have an opinion. You need to have a perspective. For us, people either 100% get our content and they're on board, or it's just not for them. And I think too many people try to be everything to everybody. And then when you go to their Instagram or go to their website, you don't know if it's for you. You're confused as to who this is. You're confused as to what they offer. Stop trying to do too much. So that's the first thing. Second thing is serve before you sell. It's my biggest business ethos. If you can provide value before you ever try to take somebody's money or get them to do something for you, you're going to have a customer for life. You're building trust with them, you're building authenticity, you're building credibility. So rather than asking them, to do something for you, to buy your product, that's not how you build community. You build community through value, through providing value, through building the trust in that relationship first. My other favorite thing about, any sort of organic social media is that you have an incredible opportunity to meet somebody where they are. We're taking something that is extremely jargon heavy and full of shame and fear and judgment, which is personal finance, and digesting it in a way that's actionable, that's easy to understand, and that is already where people are. I'm not asking them necessarily to go to another platform to learn all of this. I'm meeting them where they're at, teaching them as if it was their sister or their best friend, teaching them about money, and then giving them the resources to take it from there.
Before we continue, there's one favor I would like to ask. If you enjoy what we do here and you enjoy the guests that we bring, please join Million Dollar Creators by hitting the subscribe button. And if you do, I'll make you a deal. I do everything in my power to make this show bigger and better for you. Do we have a deal? Enjoy the show. Very clear. One more question on the podcast. Well, like you said, number one podcast, like what does it mean in numbers?
Yeah. So, I mean, our podcast is continually in the top 20, if not the top 10 on Apple and Spotify in the business charts. My favorite thing is that when I first launched this podcast in 2021, we were the only women hosted, women focused show in the top 40, which was both great and awful. And since then, there's a lot more women shows. And I think we have a very, very good reason to think that is because of us. I think we were really blazing the trail for a lot of personal finance shows by and for women. And yeah, we do anywhere from 850,000 downloads a month to 1.1, 1.2 million. Again, depends on the month, depends on seasonality. We're in about the top 0.1, maybe even 0.01% of shows. So yeah, the podcast is a great way for us to continue providing value for our community. It's obviously free to listen to, but we make money off of the ads as well as use that as a, top of the funnel strategy for the rest of our business.
Just real quick before we move on, like how important is the podcast in your overall engine?
I mean, I think it's pretty important. It's a really good customer acquisition of people discovering the show. It also just builds a lot of trust. Like, you hear from me every single week for the entire year. You get, a lot of value from the show. There's 150 episodes now to go back on. And that's the other thing, is just like building a resource library for people, so that when they, discover you for the first time, there's not only 3 episodes or 10 episodes, and, there's a whole, just a whole library of content to consume.
To binge and to like build
Right.
a relationship with you.
Right. And
Clear.
it's just also allowed us in terms of credibility. I think it was, something that was very helpful in selling our book and getting a book deal and allowing that book to continue to sell. It was 100% an SEO play and intentional for me to name the book and the podcast the same thing. If you go on Spotify right now and you search Financial Feminist, you're going to see Financial Feminist, the audiobook, and Financial Feminist, the podcast, right under it. So again, you're always going to be able to find both our book and podcast, no matter what you search and where you go.
Let's talk about the future. Could you triple your business by yourself in the next 12 months? Yes or no?
I don't want to. So no, I could. I don't want to.
This is a good one. What strategy or tactic will then get you? I mean, what's the goal, and what strategy or tactic will get you there the next 12 months?
My goal is to take care of myself right now. So the goal of 3xing our business in 12 months is a doable goal if I wanted it, but I don't. So yeah, I want to take care of myself and make sure that, I sacrificed a lot in the past couple of years of building the business, my physical health, a lot of my mental health, and I'm not willing to do that again.
Clear. What's the biggest thing holding you back personally on making that a reality?
In triple Xing my business, is that what you're saying?
I mean, obviously it's not a priority right now, but like whatever your priority is now, like taking a step back. Is that, it's also hard, right? Like an entrepreneur, you cannot just like take a step back.
Yeah, it's not a step back. It's just a more intentional, I don't know if balance is a real word, really. It's not like balance is not achievable, but more an understanding of like, I can grow this business in a healthy way that still takes care of myself. And I think trying to 3x our business in 12 months requires me to sacrifice things I'm not willing to sacrifice, and requires my team to prioritize profit over potentially their own health. And I'm not willing to do that either.
Mm-hmm. Next section is called Favorite 5. It's a fast-paced section. You can answer in one word. What's your favorite book or business book?
Untamed by Glennon Doyle.
What is your favorite way to get inspiration or to learn and grow?
Ooh, talking with mentors, talking with friends.
What's your favorite person that you're studying, your role model?
Ooh, my mentor and my second mom, who I lived with for the first couple years I was in Seattle. I met her in 2016, and her name's Cindy Shetler, and she is the woman I hope to become someday.
Wow. What's your favorite event or conference that you have attended or would love to attend?
Ooh, I was honored enough to speak at the Female Founder Collective's Net Summit last year, which is for 7-figure founders. And it's just a powerhouse group of women. It was their kickoff. It was the first time they had ever done an event like this. And it was just, it was so amazing. It was a really, really cool group of people, and very, entrepreneurship is extremely isolating, and it's really nice to talk to other people who are going through it too.
Clear. What's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, as someone who, background in social media, someone who still runs a hugely social media dependent company, I've used and loved Buffer since probably 2012, 2013 for social media scheduling and all of that. Like, I still use and love that tool. I love their team. I love their ethos. Yeah, big fan of the stuff at Buffer.
Public salaries and everything as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I love. Yeah, I've had multiple friends who have worked there and just had really, really great positive experiences. And I feel like they were one of the first, like, truly fully remote companies doing really cool things and doing it right.
That's true. Way before COVID, like they were like
way
remote.
Before 2012, 2013. Yeah.
What's your favorite city or place that you would love to move to?
Oh, I'm going back to Italy this summer. I love Italy. I studied abroad in Ireland. I love Ireland very much, but I'm a New York City girl at heart. I live in Seattle. I will never fully leave Seattle because this is where home is, but I just love New York so very much.
What's the biggest thing on your mind right now?
It's a good question. Something about these last couple weeks, I've been like sleeping well, I've been eating well. I hired a personal trainer, so I have just felt really, really good in my own body for the first time in a long time. So thinking a lot about how do I maintain that feeling.
Congrats. Next section, personal section, is also really quick.
Okay.
How many hours do you work per week?
It depends. Sometimes it's like 25, 30. Sometimes it's 60. Depends on the week.
And how many hours do you sleep per night?
8. That is non-negotiable. If I do not sleep 8 hours, I am a monster. Can't do it.
Yeah. That's also like, next question is, what's the situation? Married, single, any kids? I bet you don't have kids with that answer.
I don't have children. Nope, I don't. And yeah, part of the reason why I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, okay, so let's say single, no kids. What's your age?
I'm 29. I'll be 30 in July.
Oh. Next decade. I love that.
Saturn returns happening. It's kicking in real hard.
We also want to give some advice to the audience. So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Break up with him. No, but seriously, break up with him. No, I think I would tell tomorrow me, I would tell yesterday me, and I would tell 20-year-old me the same thing, but she's not going to listen, which is to not worry. Like, I worry a lot. I worry about my future. I worry about the future of my company. I worry about like figuring it all out. And I remember when I was 20 and about to graduate college, I was just so stressed about my life and my career and what it was going to look like, and everything works out, and everything always works out. Yet we it's just so easy to get caught up in it. So worry less. I would tell her that, and I would tell every single me at every stage of my life that.
This is Tori Dunlap. At age 25, she actually quit her job, saved $100K, and then built her empire to until today, also supercharged by Donald Trump getting elected. Before, she was a social media manager. Today she has books, podcasts, courses, all like bestsellers, like you name it. She built a massive following on social media, everything organic, no paid ads, very, very decent 7-figure business. And she's now taking care of herself, making sure that she unlocks the next level of her life when she now turns 30 very soon. And yeah, I would say sky's the limit. Thank you so much for your time and taking us to the next level, Tori.
Thank you for having me.
That was Tori Dunlap. You learned how to use financial education and empowerment to drive business and personal success, especially for women. So how can you unlock the next level in your business?